All right, guys, so the time has come. I told you every time we do something and I make you do something that you don't want to do because it's so easy you can do it in your head, and I always tell you you're going to build on that for the next thing. Today is that day. So we're going to be looking at two-step fraction word problems. So up until this point, we have been taking word problems and dividing them and finding fractions, and it's been asking you to draw a picture for your answer. Okay, so if I write this down, I know I have 30 campers. So I'm looking at example one. There were 30 campers in the state park. 2/3 of them wore green jackets. How many wore green jackets? So I wrote down my important information. I have 30 campers. 2/3 of them wore green jackets. Now I need to figure out how many. So if this looks familiar, this is how we've been writing it all year since we've learned this. So we have 2/3 of 30. We know that I'm going to take my denominator, and that's what's going to be my divisor, okay? So we have 30 divided by 3, because that's my denominator. In the past, we've just been doing 1/3. When you divide, I'm dividing it into 3 groups, which means I am only finding 1/3 of my group, okay? So I know, just because I can do this in my head, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 times 10 is 30, okay? Now, if I were to draw a picture, I would have 3 groups with 10 in them. Now, if 2/3 of the group wore green jackets, that would be this set. So 2/3 would be 20 people. Okay. Another way I like to do it is to off to the side, I'm finding 2/3 of 30. If I go across the top, 2 times 10 equals 20. So let's try another one. I'm going to look at my examples. The force of gravity on Mars is 2/5 the gravity on Earth. A rock brought back to Earth weighs 50 pounds. So we have found out that we're going to find 2/5 of 50 pounds because the rock that they brought back was 50 pounds. The gravity is 2/5 of that. Okay? So if I set up my problem, this is what's getting divided up, right? My denominator is going to be here. If you want to put this off to the side, you can. So if I have 50 divided by 5, I know 5 can go into 50 10 times. Now, if I were to make 5 groups, each group having 10 in it, okay? And I know 2/5 of my groups, so each of these are 1/5. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. 2/5 is what it would weigh. So we have, if I have 2/5 of 50 pounds, I have 20 pounds, 10, 20. So I would write 20 pounds, and that would be my answer. Remember, another way you could find it without having to draw a picture is if you wrote your fraction over here, you have 2/5, you're only dividing by this bottom number, but if you go across, 2 times 10 equals 20 pounds as well. Okay? This can be really tricky if you are not doing all the steps. You either need to set it up like this with your fraction, or you don't use your fraction and you draw a picture of your groups to figure out how many would be in 2 of the 5 groups. Okay? Do the what are they called? Lesson practice problems. Have someone at home check them. If you are not understanding, rewatch the video as many times as you need to. Ask me questions. If you need to, ask your parents questions, but I am always here to help you if you need it.